Importance of millimeter waves in urinary tract infections and kidney-associated diseases. In this image that you can see from the World Health Organization website, we can find a scientific publication that says experimental clinical study on the effect of millimeter waves on kidney, microbial and inflammatory diseases. On the World Health Organization website, where it is possible to find this research, only the name of the pathology appears, but if we continue and look for the writing of these authors, we will find the explanation. I want to introduce you to the millimeter wave course in which you will have access to all this documentation. The course has already been published in Spanish, English and French. If you need the course in another language, please contact my email or my WhatsApp. I'm going to show now in the course it's sorted by pathologies, and I'm going to show where the skin or nephritis is. Click on View Material to see the course information, click Ctrl More to enlarge, and here it's possible to have the scientific publication of the World Health Organization, but you can also find the publication in English of the research. Here, as this course is in Spanish, I have the translation of the research document, and I want to reflect with you on the relevance and use of millimeter wave in pathology in urinary tract infections. First of all, the World Health Organization, in its database, states that millimeter waves are helpful in urinary tract infections. And we come to the publication, and here is the relevant thing. He says, skin-o-nephritis continues to occupy a prominent place among juvenile somatic pathologies. This disease often has a chronic and progressive course. The situation is aggravated by the increasing rate of severe forms. The frequent recurrences of the disease, that is, what is it that is saying in this introduction that it is a serious chronic disease that disappears and reappears, that is, it is a health problem. And here comes the relevant part, look at the mouse, the poor efficacy of bacterial treatment. He is acknowledging in this research that antibacterial treatments are of little effectiveness. And on the other hand, as well as by the unwanted side effects and complications of prolonged antibiotic therapies. So, this is very relevant information. It is indicating that complications from prolonged antibiotic therapies. I worked in medical centers where I had the experience of treating patients, and the doctors introduced me to patients and told me this person has already received antibiotics several times, we cannot continue to give him antibiotics. And that is what I was able to verify in the work as a therapist. I see it reflected here in this publication. And considering that antibiotics have little effect, that the disease is chronic, that it disappears and reappears, it is that, as it says here, non-pharmacological therapeutic methods have been introduced, and hence especially millimeter wave therapy. But I'm going to show you something that when I read it I thought so, but I was really impressed. Follow me with the mouse. It is worth noting that millimeter waves can be applied not only as monotherapy, that is, millimeter wave can be applied alone, but it can also be combined, look at the word, wonderfully well with pharmacotherapy. That is to say, this is a research backed by the World Health Organization, which evidently filters and with a high rigor selects the publications that meet the criteria of evidence-based medicine, and highlight this scientific publication where it is possible to find this phrase, says that it is also. It can combine wonderfully well with pharmacotherapy. So, if we look for information on the internet about millimeter wave, we will find telecommunications, telephony, remote controls, a series of information. But go on the internet and search in English, in Spanish, in any language, search the internet for millimeter wave therapy medical center, you will find very few. It is important to disseminate this information, and if someone asks what is the importance of the millimeter wave, the World Health Organization states that it is effective for the pathology of urinary tract infection and that doctors are aware and health professionals are aware that it combines wonderfully. Well with pharmacotherapy, and then says it was convincingly demonstrated that millimeter wave has a positive effect on the activation of processes of general biological processes in the body, are very effective in the treatment of patients with gastroenterological disorder, with neurological disease, cardiac, vegetative vascular systems. That is, they have a positive effect on different pathologies. And here, following the footprint of the authors, that here is the name of the authors of the research in epistemonics, it is possible to find, and I am going to show you the synthesis of this research so that you can see the relevance. Here I copied the paragraph, I copied it in English, and here I have it in Spanish so that you can read it, and I will also read it. The effect of low-intensity millimeter wave on the development of acute and chronic pyelonephritis has been studied. The application of millimeter waves has been shown to decrease the recurrence rate, i.e., coming back again and again, decrease the recurrence rate of pyelonephritis, and reduce the likelihood of chronic pyelonephritis occurring. That's what it says. I repeat it again, it says it decreases the rate of recurrence of pyelonephritis. That is what the synthesis of this research says. And now I want to show you the millimeter wave device manual at point 38. I'm going to show you at point 38, urinary tract infection. Therefore, the device, the millimeter wave device with which we work and use it, the manual of the SI has the indication for urinary tract infection. And to end this presentation, I'm going to show on my website in the classroom part you can find the millimeter wave therapy course, and in the first part of the introductory course and general aspects you're going to find aspects of introduction, history, general aspects about the applications, but you will also find the conceptual aspects. It is possible to find theories related to millimeter waves, and millimeter waves have a relationship with quantum medicine, and there are theoretical frameworks that allow us to understand millimeter waves. Therefore, it is possible to say that it is a complementary therapy, but also as a complementary therapy. It has a theoretical framework, there are theories. Then all the training of the millimeter wave device of the company Singularity, and also in another chapter I have included within the course the training of other millimeter wave devices of Russian origin that I work with several devices of Russian origin, and I have manuals and I have experience in. The use of millimeter wave devices of Russian origin, and then to finish I have chapters dedicated to the gastric part, motor pathologies and other pathologies, and in each of these chapters I develop and make a description of first of all the publications of the World Health Organization. Then we see what the manufacturer's manual mentions and I give recommendations for how to perform the therapy.